The author of The Plot to Change America, Mike Gonzalez, is with us. He had a book on, how identity politics is dividing the land of the free that came out on the end of July. It's really, really good. Plot to Change America. But I wanted to talk to him here about an article that he wrote about BLM's co-founder and a pro-communist China group are partnering up. Mike, welcome to the program.
Glenn, thanks a lot for having me on. I've been a huge fan of yours. I'm very tickled pink.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Mike, tell me about, this people are going to deny and say this is not happening, but this is exactly what, this is what I said on that chalkboard years ago. All the enemies of America, the anarchists, the communists, the socialists, the Islamists, they will all band together to destroy America in the end. We're seeing it. This is a great example. Tell me what's happening.
So, first of all, it's undeniable. I quote them. I make it a practice, Glenn, to quote the left. In my book, The Plot to Change America, I quote leftist sources like 80% of the time. They usually lay it all out.
Yes.
Sometimes they're hard to parse because they think that if they use big words, we will not understand them.
Right.
But I quote them, so there's no misunderstanding here. I quote the website of the Black Futures Lab, which is one of the many ventures of Alicia Garza. Alicia Garza is the founder of Black Lives Matter, the organization. And let's make this very clear from the beginning. The sentiment of Black Lives Matter, there's nothing wrong with it. We all agree with this sentiment. Black lives do, of course, indeed matter. It is the organizations themselves that have been founded by three women who are Marxist, and they say they're Marxist.
Oh, yeah.
They say they're trained Marxist.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia Garza is probably the main one in the sense that she has the greatest media profile. So she sits atop a what I call a global revolutionary network that has chapters not only in the United States and Canada, but all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And one of her many assets is the Black Lives Matter Global Network, which is probably the main organization. That she founded that, and she leads it. She also had gathered together the movement for Black Lives, and this other asset that she has, the Black Futures Lab. If you go to their website and you click the donate button, if your listeners right now go to the site of the Black Futures Lab and click the donate button, they will be instructed to donate their money to the Chinese Progressive Association. So what is the CPA? The CPA, and the website says very clearly that the Black Futures Lab is a fiscal project, is a financial project of CPA. And what does CPA do? CPA from the beginning has been a partner of the People's Republic of China. It partners with them in doing events around the country. It pushes the Beijing line. It from the beginning, it tried to say, it made the case that the People's Republic of China was a good thing. This is 1972, right? In the middle of the Cultural Revolution, right? The Cultural Revolution is between 66 and 76. So CPA is created in 72 in the middle of the Cultural Revolution to push the line of the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. And one can only wonder why what we see today resembles so much the Red Guard actions of the Cultural Revolution. So I want to read to you now what it says, because I just opened it up. Black Futures Lab is a fiscally sponsored project of the Chinese Progressive Association.
I just went to the website. I'm reading it myself. CPA is a 501c3 tax-exempt organization. Tax identification number is this. So it's important. Again, Black Futures Lab on their own website is a fiscally sponsored project of the Chinese Progressive Association. It is, you can't get any more clear that these are enemies of the state.
China has an interest. China is a rival, right? It's undoubtedly China is a rival of the United States. China has an interest in seeing us be destabilized. China has an interest in seeing mayhem in our streets. One thing you said at the beginning that I want to go back to a remark, because I think it's important. What we're seeing right now is with the demonstrations and the riots and the whole mayhem, it is an attempt to change every facet of America. Every facet. And they say it. Alicia Garza says she hates capitalism. She needs to replace capitalism. She's very open about that. The movement for Black Lives says on its website, we are against capitalism. We want it gone. I visited, but it's not just our economic system they want to change. They want to change every aspect. I visited Duke. I drove my children to Duke about 2 weeks ago. They've done away with sororities. They've done away with sororities because they're tied to oppression. I don't know how they got there. Columbia University, one of my alma maters, has done away with the marching band. Again, oppression. The University of
those
Chicago,
tuba players, man, they've been a sore spot on racism for a long time. But anyway, go ahead.
The University of Chicago, it's a very serious school, right? I've always admired the University of Chicago. I tell my daughter, try to go there. They just announced that they're only going to accept to its English department next year people who want to study Black studies. Black studies is an offshoot of critical theory. Angela Davis, I don't have to explain to you who she is, but I'll explain very briefly to your audience, former Black Panther, a member of the Communist Party USA, does not like the American system. She calls Black studies the intellectual arm of the revolution.
It is.
Along with all other ethnic studies.
Anything that says studies after it is a problem. It really is. I mean, you really better do your homework before you get into a class if it says studies as the last word in the class.
Right. Or theory, critical theory.
Yeah, or theory, yeah.
Critical race theory.
Correct.
All these things are just attempts at tools for changing America.
Right. So, Mike, I thank you so much for your work on this and so much more. Please, if you have more information on other aspects, please let me know right away, because exposing this is the first step of collapsing it. Just people knowing that Black Lives Matter is now partnering with a pro-communist Chinese group. And what are they doing? I mean, welcome. Are you registered to vote? What are they trying to do? Get people to go out and vote. Why would a communist want a vote? Well, there's a couple reasons. Maybe they do want Joe Biden to win. But that, if you understand Black Lives Matter, you understand what the goal here is. It's not about the election. It's about the violence that is coming around the election. They're going to scream that it was falsified, that it was corrupt, that we don't have a legitimate president. The vote was miscounted. They've taken votes and voters, and they've disenfranchised them. That's what's important. And they're leading up right now and saying that you can't trust the vote, while they're also saying we should try something new, mail-in ballots. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It just makes no sense. We got to put our thinking caps on, America. Got to put your thinking caps on. Mike, thank you so much. We'll talk again.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Mike Gonzalez, Senior Fellow, Heritage Foundation, and he's written a book, The Plot to Change America. This is a really great article that you can find at thedailysignal.com. This BLM co-founder and pro-communist China group are partnering up. But you can find it for yourself. Just go to blackfutureslab.org. Do it now. You should take a screenshot of it before they change it. But just go to, you can find out all about it, but go to the big yellow button, donate, and look what it says. This is a BLM group. Black Futures Lab is fiscally sponsored by a project of the Chinese Progressive Association.
Not even hiding it.
They don't care.
Yeah.
The masks are off. They don't even care.